Hey friends, and welcome to another Halloween craft with me. Today we are going to be creating some of these shaker envelopes. I am using the We Are Memory Keepers mini envelope punch board, but you can also use the larger size. I've got a small sequins mix ready. I've got my paper. I'm using DCWV Halloween Party. I've got some Dollar Tree snowflake mesh. I've got a little bit of this pink pom-pom trim left over. Some scrap papers and things in here that I'll be working with. And a few other items on my desk, including my glue gun. So these are two that I've already created, and these two I did not do any stitching. I just use adhesive, and I had these two embellishments here already in my stash created, so I just popped them in the front, and you can stuff this full of goodies for your partner if you want to use it as a pocket, or you could just add this on a memory deck or card or whatever you would like. So I used this one for this guy here, and then for this one I actually used the larger envelope punch board just to see the differences in the two. And the mini punch board, the envelope is a little bit smaller, but both of these should fit a 3x3 card in it. But I already have an envelope base already done up and punched out for you guys. If you're not familiar with how to use the envelope punch board, just leave me a comment down below. I have done a tutorial using it before. It's pretty simple. You need to figure out what card size you wanted, and I wanted to have my envelope be able to fit a 3x3 card, even though I'm not putting one inside of it. So I would look on here for the 3x3, and it says I need to cut my paper 4 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then score it at 2.5. So you would put your paper in here, find 2.5. There, you would punch, and then you would score using, and it already has a scoring tool. And then once you've done that, you will rotate it counterclockwise, and you will be lining up this score line right here with this line in the end of this. So you would line that up in there, and you're no longer worried about the measurements over here, only lining up your score line here with this. Punch again, score, and rotate and repeat that another 2 times. And you are left with your envelope. And then I have corner rounded my top and bottom parts by placing my paper in the back side here and punching it, and this is a corner rounder. So I have the envelope ready to work with. I just thought that would save some time. And this was my last sheet of paper in this 6x6 mat stack. So I'm super excited to have used up a whole pad of 6x6 paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do this the no-sew method. If you wanted to sew, then I would put your tool down, and then I would just sew along where your tool. You could put tool on this whole part. I just put tool about halfway down. So you would stitch these 3 sides here, and then I'd put some sequins mix in here, and then I would stitch along here. That way you have some sequins here, and then I would finish sewing the tulle on one side here and then here, fill it with sequins on this side, and then stitch this close. So that way you have some sequins in this part and this part, and they all just don't fall to the bottom here. And that way it looks a little fuller. But for this video, I'm just going to do this as a no-sew for you guys who don't have a sewing machine or who do not sew. So let's see. This is black. So I'm going to use the orange. And then what I'm going to do is just get a piece this a little bit larger than the size that I need. And then we're going to probably need to do a little trimming. Yes. Let me trim that to fit inside the envelope. Alright, and then all I used was my adhesive. You could use score tape, adhesive. You could even use your glue gun if that's what you wanted to do. And then right about the middle, I just added a line of glue or adhesive, and then up the two sides. Just to get this started, I'm going to lay my tulle there. There we go. And the nice thing about the snowflake tulle is that it kind of absorbs that adhesive here, so you don't really have to worry about this being too sticky. And then I'm going to take a tiny bit of adhesive and add it in here. Or not adhesive, I'm sorry, sequins mix. And then I'm going to add adhesive right here along the score line, and that'll help keep this sequins mix right here in this little rectangle. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the mix here. You don't have as large of a spot. And a little flap there. Take away some of these because we can't have too many. There we go. So I'm going to gather these up kind of in that middle here. And then I'm going to add my adhesive along the edge. And then add my snowflake trim down the rest of the way. And this kind of keeps the sequins kind of in that little triangle there. And then we have our sequins mix, and we just need to do some trimming. And you want to trim that right up to your paper edge. And I really need to clean up my scissors. They're all gunky. Need to do that right after this video. And then I'm going to go back with my finger. I see we have an escapee here. I'm going to try to push that over to the side. I see my tool doesn't come all the way to the edge. I'm going to gently push those over, and then I'm going to add a little adhesive on top of the mesh because I'm going to add some pom-pom trim there anyway, which will help. And you're done with your adhesive for now. And if you want, you can go ahead and create your envelope. And I just use my adhesive. Again, you could use score tape or wet glue, whatever you would like to use. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue because I ran out of my adhesive. And then we have our little envelope that we can stuff. So I'm going to add some more of this pink pom-pom trim here just to add some of that pink color. And I just sort of roughly measure it out and cut. I'll be covering this part up with the pom-pom trim, so I'm not too worried about that. Go ahead and add some glue down. I'm going to use my little finger protector here from the Dollar Tree. I don't want to burn myself. And you sort of have to just manipulate the pom-pom trim to kind of go around the top of the envelope how you would like. And we have our little trim there. It's down just a hair, but that's okay. The pom-pom trim kind of covers up that I pulled it down a little too much. I see I need a little bit of glue right there. And a little bit of extra glue. And there we go. That helps seal in those sequins and also adds a decorative element. So let's go ahead and move on to decorating it. So I really like how these turned out. So what I did was I used some of this creepy cloth and I just cut a little section off. Grabbed a pumpkin. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and use the pink one. And I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my pumpkin there. And then I just kind of use my fingers, kind of spread this out and add it to the back here of the foam tape. And then I just kind of let it stick out here and there. It doesn't have to be completely around the pumpkin, or it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to add this down in the corner. And then let's look at maybe orange. And then these are just some scrap papers that I just sewed with my sewing machine. And let's do a little fishtail at the end. I'm going to add one of my little pieces of foam here. And let's see if I need to add two. Let's go ahead and add two. Since we have our pumpkin popped up with that creepy cloth in the back, we need to add a little bit of elevation to our ruffle. going to add a little bit of glue here and a little bit of extra glue there. There we go. Add that down. And then I have a word, and I put a ghost. Let's see. Maybe we could do something different. I have a couple of these little witch shoes. That's kind of cute. Let's do that instead of the ghost. So for this one, I don't want to uncover that part of the boot here. I do have my little bottle of cornstarch, but I don't have that next to me. So I'm going to pull everything off except that part of the heel. And then we are going to lay that down. And then for this one, I'm going to pull everything off, and I might add a tiny bit of foam tape underneath this part. Let's see. No, I think that'll be okay. Alright, so let's take this off and add it. These, I believe, are little felt pieces from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to tuck that underneath the ruffle. We're going to have our little witch feet sticking up. And now all we need is a sentiment. So I have these. Oh, this would be cute wicket since we have the witch feet. Let's do that. And these are just some of the stickers from Joann's, I believe, last year with the Halloween party and other collections. And I did pop these up on foam, but I think I'm just going to put this one, nope, I like it better with foam. So let's pop these up on, a little bit of foam. And I'm going to put a little bit at one end and a little bit at the other. You could add some gold thread or some little eyelash trim underneath this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to add it directly down. All right, love that, super cute. Now let's add a couple of gems. I'm going to grab the orange one since we have black paper. Put one there. Let's do one there and maybe one here. There we go. Love how that one turned out. That's so cute with the little witch feet. So they are super simple to create. And use those little pieces that you have in your craft room and create a little cluster. Use those fibers that you have and little felt pieces that we hardly ever use. I don't really grab for those, but I love how these turned out with them. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you will come back next Sunday the 8th. I'm going to be creating some bottle cap embellishments, and we're going to turn a few of those into charms for our chunky charm dangles and our projects. Hope you all have a great day. Bye.